Alex Oliveira versus Max Griffin takes place on the main card of UFC 248, Adesanya versus Romero. Yes, that's right, you heard me. Alex Oliveira and Max Griffin are both on the main card of a pay-per-view. That's how pay-per-views are nowadays. Either way, it's a fun fight and I want to break it down because I am genuinely interested. I don't think it's main card worthy, I'll be honest with you. However, it's a good fight. It's fun. It's going to be a show, I'm sure. I think this one's going to take fight of the night, I'm pretty sure. We'll see how things go. This is really a big question for me. Who's taken the most damage recently? Because a lot of these guys' game plans revolve around them taking a shit ton of damage and somehow managing to come out on top. And that's basically what both of them do best. They go in there, they create a war, and if they're tougher than their opponent, then they win. And that's kind of just how it goes. I feel as though I don't know who I think wins. I think Max Griffin's going to get this one. And I really do hesitate when I say that because I know I've already predicted him. But this fight is the most 50-50 shit I may have predicted in a very long time. I swear to God, Alex Cowboy Oliveira has a knack for upsetting people and making fights. I don't know how he's on the main card off a 3-fight losing streak, but either way, he makes fights way closer than they should be. Okay? He has a knack for going to war. He lost to Mike Perry, lost to Gunnar Nelson, lost to Nicholas Dalby. It's tough to get behind Alex Cowboy Oliveira here because Max Griffin has also beaten Mike Perry. Did it in more impressive fashion, dare I say. You know, he's got good wins. He beat Zelim Imadiev by decision majority, even though that was because Imadiev got a point taken away for holding the cage. That's fair. You don't hold the fucking cage. So Max Griffin wins. I get it. Lost to Curtis Millender, lost to Thiago Alves, which I thought he won. That's another one that I can add to my list of pros. I thought he won against Thiago Alves very fucking clearly, and they robbed him in Brazil. That was a disgusting robbery. I thought he clearly beats Thiago Alves. And then Alex Morono's a beast and just got clipped by a young guy in his last fight. But before that, Alex Morono was on a tear. It's tough to predict this fucking... This is a circus of a fight. Seriously, there's no logic that's going to come into this whatsoever other than what I think is going to happen. I feel like Alex Cowboy Oliveira is going to come out there for all guns blazing. He knows Max Griffin can be hurt on the chin. He knows that's where his chance is to KO Max Griffin in the first round. I think Alex Cowboy Oliveira is going to come in all guns blazing, rock Max Griffin perhaps, get him in some trouble, but Max Griffin's going to survive. He is going to survive. Because he always survives. Or at least recently he survives. He's going to come back in those later rounds. And now we're going to see an Alex Cowboy Oliveira who went for the finish in the first start to fade in the later rounds. As he did against Mike Perry. As he did against Yancy Medeiros at 170. Sometimes he goes out there. And if you show him the finish too much, he'll go crazy for it. And then he'll gas himself out and he will lose in the later rounds. I feel as though that's how this fight's going to go. I think it's going to be a very close fight. Back and forth all the way, I believe. But I think Max Griffin's dominance and pressure and ground game and grappling is just going to be enough to hold Oliveira down in those second and third rounds after Alex Oliveira burns himself out in the first looking for a finish when Max Griffin gets hurt. There's no logic to this fight, guys. I wish I could sit here and go, but this, and this guy does this with his jab. They don't. They're not good fighters. They're tough guys, though. They're tough guys. They aren't the most technical in the world. There's not much I can really break down in terms of opponents. I just feel like Max Griffin's got this one in the bag. Even though he's the older guy, Alex Cowboy Oliveira's taken a bunch more damage in his career. Goes to war every single fight. But it's the same with everything you say. Everything I say about one person, the other guy has exactly the same thing. It pisses me off. This fight is unpredictable. I think Max Griffin's going to win. Yeah. I think he's got it in the second and third rounds. I don't know why. I don't know how I'm going to justify my prediction, but I think that's what's going to happen. I like Max Griffin. He's been in the UFC less. He's taken a little bit less damage in his career. Alex Oliveira is on a 3-fight losing streak. If there was a time for him to bounce back. And to be fair, in the Nicholas Dalby fight. But Nicholas Dalby's actually good. And Oliveira was doing good. Oliveira was doing good. Oliveira got robbed in that fucking Nicholas Dalby fight, by the way. He got on top of Nicholas Dalby. And the referee stood that shit up immediately in that third round. And Dalby couldn't get back up. So the referee decided to stand them back up. And then Dalby shot for his own takedown when they were back on their feet and took Oliveira down for the rest of the round. If that ref never stepped in too early to stand them both up, Oliveira would have won that fucking fight, and Dalby is a monster. So why am I picking Max fucking Griffin, man? Max Griffin's so shit, but so is Oliveira. So is Oliveira. Fuck, man. I think Max Griffin's got this one in the bag. Oliveira's going to come out there, think he can KO Max Griffin in the first round, like every opponent thinks they can do, because Max Griffin has a terrible chin, contrary to the fact that he's only been knocked out once in his career, has a terrible fucking chin, gets rocked every single fight that he's in, without a fail, but he survives, and you have to give him credit for that, and I think he's going to survive against Alex Cowboy Oliveira. I think Alex Oliveira is going to go crazy in the first, burn out all his energy, and then just get grapple fucked for the last 2 rounds. Yeah, the winner of this fight's in good position though. Because right now at welterweight, there's a bunch of guys that are losing and winning and losing and winning and losing and winning. And there's a bunch of good fights and matchups for you to have. Maybe with Mike Perry. Who knows? Maybe with James Vick. You've got Emil Meek, Jake Matthews, James Krause. Fucking Randy Brown's fighting for Sente Luque. There's going to be a winner and a loser of that bout. There are fights happening in the welterweight division right now. Crazy fights, and we'll see who comes out on top in this situation. I feel as though Max Griffin's going to get it done, and I feel like a fight between him... Let me look at these fucking welterweight rankings real quick, because I feel like a fight between him and maybe, if you just give me a second here to check out these welterweight rankings below 15, maybe him versus the winner of Alessio Zaleski dos Santos versus Alexei Kunchenko would be a good fight. Maybe him versus Gunnar Nelson. You know, maybe him versus Claudio Silva, who's 5-0 in the division right now and looking to get a jump up. I don't know. But there's big stakes here. Real big stakes. And I feel like Max Griffin's got this one in the bag. Looking forward to it. Or we can just do Max Griffin versus Sean Brady after this. Sean Brady, 2-0, undefeated in the UFC, young guy coming up. Just won against Ismail Nurdiev on the last card, UFC Fight Night Norfolk. Still undefeated. Beaten 2 good guys in a row. Court McGee, Ismail Nurdiev. Maybe Max Griffin tries out him afterwards. Who the fuck knows? I really don't know at all. Maybe the winner of this one gets Diego Lima. I have no idea. Anything could happen in this division. There are so many contenders in this welterweight division, you forget about half of them. Do you remember Brian Barberena? Still in the UFC, by the way. You know? Alan Jouban is still in the UFC, by the way. Can fight anytime he wants. So is Dwight Grant. You know, on a 2-fight win streak as well. Remember him? Just beat Alan Jouban. Terrible fight, but it was still a fight that happened and he won. There are guys in this welterweight division that you don't even realise are creeping their way up the rankings, I swear to God. Lyman Good is another guy who has a fight at UFC 249 against someone. I should know who, but I don't know who. But we'll see what happens, man. Welterweight has a lot of fights to happen. I guess the winner of this one's going to sit out, check out the landscape. Maybe the winner of, or the loser. Listen, if Nico Price loses to Muslim Salikov, which may well happen because Muslim Salikov is a monster, then Nico Price is going to be looking for an opponent. And Alex Cowboy Oliveira, if he gets a big win here. Cowboy Oliveira versus Nico Price sounds like the right kind of autism for my Saturday nights. I'll be honest with you. I would love that fight. If they would ever make Alex Cowboy Oliveira versus Nico Price, Jesus Christ, that would be terrifying. It would be terrifying because you might actually catch autism from watching it. I'm not even joking. Craziness. The welterweight division's really fun. You got a bunch of guys having fights recently and soon to come with a bunch of great contests. We'll see what happens after the next month. There's going to be a bunch of guys looking for fights. And we'll see who wins this one. I think it's going to be Max Griffin though. I really do. I think he's just got the pressure and the style with the grappling. And he's not afraid to make it a little bit more boring than Alex Cowboy Oliveira is. I could see him taking over as the fight goes on. Putting a pace on Alex Cowboy Oliveira. And just making him drown. Because as much as I love Cowboy Oliveira, he does give in a little bit. I don't mean to say quit. I don't want to say the word quit. I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to say give up either. But he does, what's a really polite way of saying you're a bitch? He succumbs to the pressure of his opponents when it's applied correctly. Alex Oliveira succumbs to the pressure of Max Griffin because Max Griffin will apply it in the correct areas of the fight, i.e. the grappling situations. Toodle pip. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. No, it's not there. It's over there. See you later. Yeah. I don't know how I got 10 minutes out of this, but autism. Stay tuned.